Number 3, what is the area of the figure below? 2 different ways you can do this. You can figure this as being 2 triangles and a square. Or you can figure it as being one big trapezoid, which might be a little bit easier. So the area. So we need to go look for the trapezoid, for the area of a trapezoid formula. So area of a trapezoid. Base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. So my base 1, one of my bases is 27, plus my second base, which is 13, and then my height of 14. And then I want to divide that by 2. So 27 plus 13 times 14, or I could just say, if I know this is 40, I can go ahead and divide those two. So 40 divided by 2 would be 20. So 20 times 14. And that gives me 280. Number 11, the diagram shows the spot on a basketball court called the key. What is the area of the key? Well, there's only one keyword in that question, and it's area. So we're looking for the area of this whole figure. So we need to first figure out what 2 shapes we have. We've got a rectangle and a semicircle, or a half circle, even though that's kind of a weird looking half circle. So the area of a rectangle is base times height, semicircle, pi r squared, and then divide by 2 at the end. So do that top part first. Easiest part, let's see, area base times height. So 21 times 16. 21 times 16 should be 336 here in the middle. And then the semicircle. So pi is 3.14. The radius, so it gave me the 16 here, so I know that that's got to be the same measurement here. So 16 is all the way across, but radius, remember, is only halfway. So we want to take half of that 16, and that would be 8. So 8 squared divided by 2. So 8 times 8 should be 64. So 3.14 times 64 divided by 2. And if we want to, we can go ahead and just divide 64 by 2 and get rid of it. So really, we can just do 3.14 times 32. I have to keep scooching. 3.14 times 32. So 4 times 2 is 8. 2, 6, 12, 34, and 9. So 100.48 for the semicircle, but I forgot to divide by 2. No, I did divide by 2. Just kidding. So sorry. It's been a long day. So 100.48 is my semicircle. So I need to add these 2 areas together. So 336 and 100.48. If you have a whole number and you're adding it with a number that has a decimal, add decimals to that whole number. You have to line it up. That's where I've seen a lot of people get really confused and get really weird answers. And this one is kind of bizarre because you get 436, but the closest answer choice is C. So we'll go with C. Your test will be much more clear than that. It'll actually have the exact number that you get. Number 12, the arrow shown below is on a straight line. What is the area of the arrow? So we want to take this whole figure. So we've got a rectangle and a triangle. Okay, so first thing, rectangle, the area formula is base times height. Triangle is base times height divided by 2. So rectangle, easiest thing. 14 is our base, 2 is our height. So 14 times 2 should be 28. and then our triangle. So to get our base is this whole piece right here. So it's telling us that this part is 1.5, so that means that this part is 1.5, and this 2 would be the measurement for that. So 2 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 would be 5. And our height, so we don't have a measurement for that, but we do have a measurement for the whole shape, and we have this piece of our arrow, this what was our base for the arrow, or for the rectangle. So I'm going to take 18 minus 14, and that will give me the rest of this piece, because it's got to all equal 18. So the height will be 4 divided by 2. So 20 divided by 2 would be 10. So I'm going to take 28 plus the area of the triangle, and that gives me 38. Number 13, what is the area of the shaded region in the figure below? So we want just this shaded stuff right here. Again, and this is one of those where they've cut this out. They've cut this white piece out. So we've got 2 rectangles. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Rectangle and a rectangle, same formulas. So it's base times height, and it's base times height. So we'll do the shaded region first, or the entire shape. So base is 12, height is 10, so that'd be 120. The base for our cutout rectangle was 7, height was 2, so that's 14. And remember, this was the cutout, so we're going to subtract it. So 120 minus 14, so 106. Number 14, Mrs. Watson's students build their names out of wood. Hunter builds an H using rectangles with the dimensions below. So 2 different ways you can do this. You could imagine this being one whole square and you have 2 cutouts. Or you can imagine it as being 3 rectangles. So in the first review we did the square and we did the cutout. So on this one I'll do 3 rectangles, since these 2 cutouts aren't exactly the same, which it was on the review we did together. So we've got 3 rectangles. So remember, it's going to be base times height for all 3. So base times height of this left side would be 4 times 12. So 4 times 12, 48. Then this middle part. So we have a base, which is 5. Let's get our formula. And then the height. I don't know the height right now, but I do know that this whole side should be 12. I know this should be 12. And then they gave me this length here, which was 5, and this length here, which was 4. So we're missing this piece. So 5 and 4 together is 9. And if I take that away from the whole total, I get 3. So that's my missing piece there. So now I know that that missing height is 3. So now I can plug in 5 times 3 and get 15. So the last rectangle, I've got a base, which is 3. And I've got a height, which was 12. So 12 times 3, 36. And then I can add all these guys together. 36 plus 15 plus 48. And you should get 99. Number 15. JC draws a pattern to help construct a bow for her sister's doll. How many square centimeters of material does Jane need to construct 2 bows for her doll? The square centimeters tells us we're talking about area. And we have 3 different shapes, but 2 of them will be the same area. But we've got trapezoid and rectangle. So formula for trapezoid, area equals base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. Rectangle is base times height. So let's look at these trapezoids first, because that's two totally different shapes that we can already get one area for. So base 1 can use 6. Base 2 would be 10. Our height is this little dotted guy right here. That's the entire height of our trapezoid. That's 5 divided by 2. So I've got 16 times 5 divided by 2. I want to go ahead and divide 16 divided by 2 just to make it a little bit easier. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. That leaves me with 8 times 5, which is 40. So I know this trapezoid, and these had the same base and height, so I'm going to go ahead and put my area there as well. So I've got my trapezoids. Now all that's left is the middle rectangle. So base times height, 4 times 6 is 24. So 40 plus 40 plus 24 gives me 104. Great. And I see that answer choice. And a lot of you are going to pick that because you see the answer. It's on the answer choice. Bam, you're done. You're not done. 2 bows. This was 1 bow. Read very carefully. So we need to take 104 and multiply it by 2. And there it is. There's the real answer.